Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning, or whatever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or into the deep, dark depths of the night. If you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. You can respond to this week's question by going to the description of the episode in Spotify. And if you scroll down, you should see the ability to comment, and I will read those comments out loud on the next week's following episode. This is an ad-supported show, so we will be reading, or there will be ad break after read the comments or whatever it is, like 10 minutes into the show. And then another 20 minutes into the show after that, something like that. We have a subreddit. Please go ahead and join r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, where we talk all things podcast related. It's a new episode, make a thread posted every single week. So if you can go in there and talk about whatever things to your heart's desire. And then we also have a poll. So I'll be reading out the poll, the results from the last week's poll, and then reading out the poll for this week. So without further ado, why don't we hop in right into that, what I was just saying. Last week's poll was, also I'm recording this on Sunday, so in case you haven't, like, if you end up commenting to sometime today on Sunday or on Monday, I probably won't see your comment, so I won't get a chance to read it out, if just in case you do post that comment. So but the reason is I'm traveling Monday, so I don't really have time to record the podcast when I'm traveling. So I'll be going back home, guys. I'm going back home to Saskatchewan for Christmas, which I'm super psyched about. So, and if you didn't know that's where I was from, then a lot of people are like, where the fuck is that? It's in Canada, middle of the country. So last week's poll was, after you die, would you rather reincarnate forever as a human or not exist indefinitely? We had a 66 to 33% split on this one, and we had reincarnate forever. So the winning vote is reincarnate forever, which, that's an interesting choice. I feel like if you have a sense of time and you just keep reincarnating, I don't know, dude, forever? Like, I mean, unless the human race goes extinct, which is a possibility, then maybe it does have some sort of termination, but I feel like that's kind of a loophole. But it is interesting that you guys are all very optimistic. I'm glad. I feel like not exist is a little bit nihilistic, and that's kind of what I thought. And I'm like, well, I hope my listeners have better mental health than I do, so I'm just kidding. But anyways, let's go ahead and read the comments from last week's episode. So last week's episode was, what's the fastest way a CEO ruined a company? I know you guys probably all don't know CEOs, but I tried to see if anyone could source any stories from the internet. I'm not sure if anybody did, but some of the comments were from the episode before, not this past week's episode, but the episode before that one, which was what ruined your Thanksgiving. And then I think there's another comment relating to something from what's the worst customer you've ever had. So first one comes from JJ. What's going on, JJ? I don't have any thing for the topic, so I'm just going to talk about Thanksgiving again. So my uncle's family brought their baby, and I hate children. Okay. I know it's just a baby, but it kept crying and throwing up everywhere. You should just put it outside, just like a dog or something. Just, leash it up to the fence or leash it up to the porch or something and just leave it outside. It's probably fine. There was like six separate times, and I was so done and went upstairs to hide and play Roblox. And for some reason, they brought the baby up there, so I guess I can't escape. At least next year I'll be in Japan for Thanksgiving, so have a nice day. Goodbye. Okay, well, at least we know that JJ doesn't want kids. That is very apparent. Can you just, make the baby stop crying? I don't know, just give it some alcohol or something. Just put a little booze, just give it a little shot. Just give it a little shot, chill it out. It's gonna be fine. The baby needs to relax. We all need to just calm our nerves a little bit. I'm just kidding. Please do not. I can't believe I have to stress saying this, but it's because my voice is on the internet. I have to say this. Do not feed your baby alcohol or drugs. Please do not do that to your child. I hate that I have to say that, but you never know. Next one comes from Dusty. An explanation on my jigsaw trap. If you think about your senses, it's always active being stimulated with the environment. And if you think you don't have any senses, it's like being blind, but all senses are affected and thus leaving you with your thoughts, consciousness. And I was bored one time and was thinking. I think that was from a previous Would You Rather. For the prompt, I have mad beef with any company who raises their subscription cost. Basically anything with or without ads. Also, the Spotify CEO with the stupid character limit. Well, I hope the ads don't bother you too much on this show. They are skippable, so you can skip them. But, I mean, like, I feel like that's just, it's so funny with the whole streaming thing because we went from, cable, which was, cable was nice, then they kind of brought out on demand, which was like a little bit earlier, like a little bit early of a precursor to streaming type of stuff. But it was a conglomerate of channels that you paid for, and you bought this cable package, and that included however many channels. You could kind of just watch what was on. But now that streaming is like Netflix was just took off. Everything was on Netflix. You could find whatever you wanted. All the movies and their licensing could be licensed Netflix. And then all these companies started realizing, why am I going through cable? Why can't I just make my own streaming service? Which, in theory sounds like a good idea. But now it's even more expensive than cable, because if you want to watch like your favorite TV shows, you have to pay like $20 a month for like so many different streaming services. It basically just kind of completely eliminates the point of cable, because now cable's fucking cheaper. So it's like, are we gonna what is our solution here? We need to figure this out, because I'm surprised it took Disney that long to be able to be like, we could make more money. How could we do that? But because it is Disney, and I don't know if you guys know much about Disney, but Disney likes to make a lot of money. And not only that, but they will sacrifice quality of content for making money. So I don't know if that's something y'all know about Disney, but just in case you weren't aware or haven't seen any of the last 10, 15 Marvel movies, they all suck, and TV shows. And they just rake in the cash. Next one comes from Lolly Porty. This is from a reply from a previous episode, but I couldn't remember what they said. But then, I made fun of their like spelling error, not a spelling error, but like a grammatical funky thing. It's like, let's eat grandma, let's eat, grandma. It said, you made fun of me for writing a big ass test, you dementia patient. Hey, listen, maybe y'all don't all know this, but I do have a life in between making podcast episodes. So it is like a full 7 days in between when I'm doing the show and when the rest of my life kind of unfolds and happens. So I am struggling with podcast dementia. I will not say I have dementia, but I definitely have podcast Paulsheimer's, if you will. That sounds so terrible. That sounds like cerebral palsy and Alzheimer's mixed together. That sounds like the worst condition. I haven't seen a CEO ruin his company, so I'm going to talk to you about Finnish Thanksgiving. It's called Kiddospavia. I'm doing a terrible Kiddospavia or something. I don't know how you would say that. In Finland, and we don't celebrate it, but it's a good reason to drink beer and no real partying. If I could teach you, if you want, I could teach you Finnish. I could teach Finnish to you. As always, amazing episode. Much love to you and your family. Well, thank you so much, Lolly Porty, and shout out to Finland, man. It's so cool to see where everybody comes from and listens to this show. Like, how did you find this? Like, that's crazy, and I'm glad you speak English too. That's also cool. Sure, comment something Finnish if you want to. And we can, every episode, you can teach me how to say something in Finnish. That'd be pretty cool. I'll have to look it up how it's pronounced on the internet, but it'll be fun. Next one comes from Phil Savannah, our last comment here. You might be too young for this reference, but the reason you probably think of the name Randall could be because the main snitch from the TV show Recess was named Randall. Ever since seeing that show, I never met a Randall that I liked. I think I'd reincarnate forever because it would just be interesting. It beats knowing that this life is pointless and just ends. You know what? That's actually a very fair point. People PSIIRC means if I remember correctly. Thank you. See, this is why you can count on Redditors, man. Redditors help you out. This is like Redditors. It's like if you want to know how to run some sort of setting on your coffee machine that you got, and it's like this model from 2 years ago, and you're trying to figure it out. If you just look up whatever the question is and then Reddit afterwards, you will get the most helpful responses ever. Reddit is like the place for troubleshooting. Every time I have a problem with any of like tech, like laptop or microphones or computers or anything like that, almost immediately as soon as I look it up, it's Reddit. I don't think I've ever gotten a helpful answer from like a website article. I think all of the actual helpful answers and questions I've ever asked about pretty much anything have all been answered on Reddit. So shout out to Reddit. I love you guys. You guys are the best. All right. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we're going to hop into today's episode. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends, to today's episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Again, I am so psyched to be back here with y'all on this fine, Tuesday. Sorry, I just have a pen here. I have to write something down. On this fine Tuesday morning. So as you can clearly see from the episode title, what is the stupidest thing you've seen someone do despite being expressly told not to do it? I feel like that is, this is the reason why my dad had to write. Like, my dad is a chemical engineer, so growing up around the house, he would always have just different chemicals kind of around. And my dad used to just draw crazy drawings on all the bottles that were just massive signs of skull and crossbones, and he would just write death in big letters, like death, do not touch. It was like fucking hydrochloric acid or something stupid. And, but I feel like, despite being told that, kids are kids, and you kind of just like, you know what? Hydrochloric acid kind of sounds exfoliating. I feel like that would really take a lot of pressure off my back. I feel like it would take, really loosen my muscles. But not only does it loosen your muscles, it will deteriorate your muscles in the sense that it will disintegrate them. So if you were looking for a way to kind of just relieve some shoulder pain, or just maybe just relieve your shoulders entirely off of your body, it's a great way to do it. But yeah, I should have thought about something like, I feel like this is just, I feel like this happens to me like quite often. Like I will be, there's so many times where someone will just be like, oh yeah, don't really, you shouldn't do it that way. Like canoeing or something. Like I think in high school, I remember like our teacher on one of our canoe trips, he was like, oh yeah, don't carry your boat over there. It's going to get stuck. And we were just like, fucking what the fuck does this guy know? This guy doesn't fucking know shit. Little did we know, fucking stuck, flipped over, full of mud, everything just dirty. Like, yeah, for some reason, we think we're smarter than a person who's been here and doing this for 20 years more than we have. So that's, that's kids, man. That's what it takes, man. It's just a learning experience. All right. It's a learning experience. It's a very humbling experience, especially when they pull up to you and they're like, this is exactly what I predicted would happen. First one comes from Hammer Hill. When I was in grade 8, we had a science class where we were supposed to be describing the properties of chemicals. We were shown how to waft the hand over a vessel to get a smell, not to taste it, etc. And then we were given a beaker of liquid to write observations about. We were constantly warned to follow the protocols we were taught. One kid grabbed his beaker, drank it down, and said it was water. He immediately got kicked out of the class, and later that day, I heard the teacher talking about how at the last minute he decided to use water as a first chemical instead of acid because of how stupid this one kid would be. He wasn't wrong. I think this kid is reaching out for help. Like, I think that's a sign of help. I don't know if, like, you guys might have thought he was stupid, like, fucking idiot, just loves to swallow acid, but he's just like, no, I'm genuinely, this is a cry for help. This is like, you guys are all just like, you're such a jokester. Look at you just joking around. You always just love to poke fun. This guy, he's just crazy jokes on him. What is he? Oh, watch me swallow the beaker full of acid. Oh no, it's this crazy joke. Oh, gonna have to go to the hospital. I might die and my insides are gonna turn into liquid. Oh, I'm gonna liquefy everything inside of me. What a hoot and a holler you are. What a hoot and a holler. And he's just like, no, I'm actually genuinely depressed. This is a cry for help. I don't know how much more obvious I could make it. I did in front of the entire class. So I'm not the class clown. Just the whole time they think he's the class clown. Like, he's just doing insanely messed up stuff. Just everyone's just like, oh, you jokester. You know you're not supposed to use your scissors for that. Oh, come on. Give him the plastic scissors. It's like, no, I'm actually, I need help. This is a very serious issue. Haha, you and your jokes. But that's insane. If the kid is actually like joking, obviously, like if this kid is trying to be some sort of class clown, okay, that's not like paper airplane spitball. Like that's one level. Potentially liquefying your insides, I feel like is a totally different. Like, that's not a prank. Like, watch me drink this fluid. Watch me drink a gallon of lighter fluid. Oh, it's gonna be so funny. And until you're convulsing on the floor and you're foaming at the mouth. Like, I feel like you're coughing up blood. Like, it's all part of the prank. Like, oh, that's my lung. Like, I really don't see the humor in that. Like, like, watch how funny it's gonna be when I die in front of you guys. Like, what the fuck? I just like, what? I feel like as a human being, that just goes against your own primal instinct to survive. Like, isn't that the whole? This goes back to like eating foreign berries in the woods. Like, who does that? Who's supposed to do that? Not only that, but this is like, you're in a science lab in a lab coat. Like, there's no. This isn't an environment that is very conducive to like, oh yeah, this is, where I eat and drink, and this is where I'm just gonna gobble down whatever in front of me. It's like, okay, in the forest, maybe that's one thing, right? You eat a couple berries, maybe they looked good. Doesn't end up going well for you, okay? But I feel like this highly refined, very sterile environment, I think that's kind of the last thing on my mind, is to be like, this is, this strange green liquid that's really hot and also just burning and steaming right now. This has got to taste so good. This has got to be fire, man. I can't wait. It's got to have that, like, it's probably better than club soda. It's probably just got that pop to it, I feel like it's really going to just, it's just revitalizing, it just give you that little pep in your step. Well, one more step and then you fall to your death. Reply from Expat Kev. It was the only time I ever heard of any of our teachers swear. In high school chemistry class, we each got petri dishes filled with a green/blue jelly-like solid and had to identify it using things like melting point, refractivity, solubility, and acid base. We were given gloves and told not to handle it directly. Class clown just picks up the dish and eats it like a Jell-O shot. Apparently, it was potassium hexacyanate, with our teacher claimed it was a cyanide analog. This was before cell phones, so he sent the class runner down to the office to call the ambulance. Well, he gave the kid an emetic? I don't know what that is. Well, yelling, "You fucking stupid little shit." I feel like if the teacher got fired for that, like, that's just, come on, bro. That was natural selection at its finest. It was trying to do its work. I mean, if the teacher gets fired, like, it's like, listen, we just want to call you here into the office, Mr. Anderson. We immensely appreciate that you were able to save Timothy's life. It was a mark of heroism and the actions of the most upstanding citizens in our society. Well, thanks. I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, I was just, trying to save the kids. Whoa. Don't get too high on your own horse there, Mr. Anderson. We have a very serious matter to talk about. Yes, although you did save a kid's life, you used the F word, okay? You said the F word and then the S word. I don't even think I've heard any of those words in my life, okay? I don't even think I can sound them out in my brain. That's how much I'm separate from these types of words. It is absolutely, basically what you did and what you said, basically detracted away from everything you did. Everything you did is now pretty much worthless and meaningless because you decided to use profanity. So, we took matters into our own hands and we said, listen, if he wouldn't have used profanity, maybe things would have ended up differently. So we killed the kid. Kid's dead because we took him off life support strictly because of your consequences. And we can't have teachers at this school or saving kids. Like you shouldn't have to feel rewarded for swearing like that. You don't get to feel the satisfaction of saving a kid's life because you decided to use foul language. So we had to kill the kid. So this is your doing. Timothy is dead. We killed him. We went into the ER there, the emergency room, and we went into his little thing where they got him on a monitor, and we just choked him out. Just a little pillow over the face action. And there we go. That was the end of him because we can't reward bad behavior at this school. We don't reward subpar behavior. So with that said, we're going to have to kill you too. Boom, gunshot between the eyes. No more profanity at the school. Just saying. Next one comes from Grublord. Worked in tech support for copper phone lines. Had an old German-sounding lady on the phone saying her phone was electrocuting her while she was holding it. The phone she was talking to me on. I told her to please stop using the phone and we'd send someone out to see what's going on. This lady just kept screaming about how bad it hurt and to hold the phone and how much pain she was in. I was like, LOL, just hang up. I don't know what to tell you. But she stayed on the phone in agony until I ended the call. Come on, bro. You got it, it's like, no, you need to understand this is painful. Yeah, it's painful because you're talking to me. Like, just hang up. This is a very simple solution. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be sending someone over there now. You can hang up. Like, you could have hung up after that. Like, there was no reason for you to stay on the phone. Like, it's like, okay, I appreciate you sending somebody down, but I mean, this just hurts. Like, this hurts a lot. And, what's up with you? Like, what's up with you? How are you doing? What's going on in your life? Ow. Damn it. Ow. Like, how are you? It's like, I'm an unknown human to you. This does not matter. This conversation is pointless after I literally just told you I'm sending somebody your way. I don't know what else you're going to gain from this. We're not friends. We're not going to be friends. I am a customer service worker. I'm here to fulfill my hourly wage duties, my minimum wage hourly duties, and then I'm going to go home and cry myself to sleep and then go to bed. So I don't know what you're expecting out of this. This isn't the beginning of some blossoming, beautiful relationship. It's like that doctor thing. It's like, oh, doctor, my knee hurts when I jump on it like this, and when I jump up and down on my one knee. It's like, then fucking stop doing it. It's probably gonna hurt a lot less if you don't jump on your knee. Reply from Rodney killed a baby. Jesus, why? Why do you make me say this kind of stuff? Redditors. I was helping a lady with her foster dog that was too much for her. It was too much for her, and she insisted on interacting with the dog in her yard while screaming and panicking that it was jumping on her. Lady, we didn't need to be in this situation. I believed you. God damn. It's like everyone wants a dog until they figure out that they didn't want a dog. It's like, you know what? I love my puppy. I absolutely love him. He is the cutest little thing. Actually, you know what? I don't actually really find dogs that cute, so I don't really know what I'm saying. But he's a dog. He does have a face of a dog. That's a fact. He doesn't smell good. I don't like the way dogs smell. He licks me, which I also hate, because I don't like it when dogs lick me, because they lick everything, and that's disgusting, and then they put their mouth on me, and I don't want any part of that. And he cuddles me, but I hate affection. I hate physical affection, so I actually don't really like that either. I'm not a fan of that. He's very attentive to me, the dog's always around me, which is, I don't really like that either, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because I just don't, I like my personal space, the dog seems to kind of be all up in my personal space and, begging for attention, I'm just like, get away from me, dog, I don't want you here. And then, he's really smelly. I don't really like the way dogs smell. And then why did you get a dog? Why the fuck do you have a dog? Like, did you know that's kind of all of the things you just listed are the only reasons like to have a dog, except the smelly part. But cuddling, attentiveness, a friend. It's like, you know what? I'm not a huge friend guy. Not big on friends. I know that dog is man's best friend, but I've never really been one for friends. I don't really like friends of people. I don't like friends of friends. I don't like the TV show Friends. I'm not a big friend guy. Not a friendly fellow. I'm not a friendly guy. It's like, well, really, we couldn't tell by the fact that you don't like dogs. Like, how unfriendly do you have to be to dislike dogs? Like, I understand, not being the biggest fan of dogs, the not because of the how to take care of them, but to just dislike dogs in general, just to not like them. Like, oh yeah, I hate dogs. Why? 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 They are literally bred specifically to be human companions. Like, they are made for you to like. How do you not like dogs? Like, maybe some dogs, it's not all dogs are made the same, but in general, just like, yeah, I hate everything that's good and nice about the world. Actually, you know that the world is like a really crappy place, but it gets better with like all the little things, like cute animals and stuff. Yeah, I hate those too. Yeah, I just kind of hate them. Like, I just kind of hate everyone and everything about the world. Everything that's like supposed to be nice, like a bowl of ice cream, I hate it. Just disgusting. Why would I eat that? I don't even like food. Why the fuck would I eat it? I don't even like anything at all. So the world just sucks. It's like, okay, bro, we get it. We understand. You're a weirdo. You're a fucking strange cat. Next one comes from some doof you won't like. It was me. I saw a red hot burner. Asked my mom what red feels like. She responded by telling me not to touch it, and that's very hot and it will hurt me. I then decided I want to see what red felt like. Well, red is a color, so red doesn't feel like anything. The burner is red-orange, and it feels like you're burning your skin off. So red, I wouldn't characterize red by having a touch feeling, I know some people have that synesthesia thing where, they see colors and hear see colors and hear sounds like every other normal fucking person. They hear colors and see sounds. So maybe you could have, the red was talking to you. Maybe the red was like, I put my hand on a stove to see if I still bleed, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. We're still the kids we used to be. Yeah. I put my hand on a stove to see if red was hot. No, red felt extremely painful. There's a lot of red things, like, fires can be red. I also wouldn't recommend touching a fire. The sun, notoriously red, and yellow and hot and burning. Wouldn't want to touch that either. I think there's a lot of things in general that are red. Generally does, I'd probably go for something white or blue than red. White or blue feels a little colder in general. I think it's probably safer touching that than something red. That is so crazy. Just to touch it, like, psst. I mean, it's the forbidden cinnamon roll. It really is. If you had one of the old burners, we actually still have those burners in our apartment right now. It's the forbidden cinnamon rolls. When they're red hot like that, I got to admit, they do look appetizing. It's like, oh, I just wish I could bite right into it, like, and then melt my entire teeth from my face and probably have massive scarring for the rest of my life. Next one comes from Trying and Surviving. Climbed into a cardboard baler because he threw his phone in and wanted to check after he already crushed it. Yanked the key out and he was fired immediately. Like, what is it? I just don't understand what the mentality is here. Like, this has got to be the most... Is that from The Office? Oh, I know that something like that happened in the episode of The Office, but, like, again, it is, like, a press machine, a compact press machine. Oh, you know this machine that's basically meant to turn a cardboard box into the size of my pinky finger? You know what? What's the worst that could happen? I freaking dropped my phone in. What do you expect? I was literally scrolling on TikTok. Okay, my reels were amazing today. My algorithm was popping off. Okay, I accidentally dropped my phone in the baler. Had to just go in for a dive. Listen to the name. It's a cardboard baler. Okay, it's not a human baler. Obviously, the baler's gonna know there's a human in here. I probably shouldn't bail this. Is that kind of not common sense? That it's like, oh yeah, these have this is not a human baler, okay? If I wanted a human baler, I would have avoided going in that one, all right? I'm not an idiot. This is a cardboard baler. Cardboard isn't very strong, all right? No, I don't really think that's the point. I think it's the point of it's like tens of thousands of PSI just crushing you. Have you ever seen any of those videos on Instagram of the hydraulic presses? Crushing things. A hydraulic press can crush, it could crush a cardboard box, but it could also crush a brick of fucking granite. Like, it's a press. Like, it presses the same. Like, it's not going to just adapt to what's in here. Like, the press is going to be like, this doesn't feel like a cardboard box. I know I'm a hunk of metal and that has no independent autonomy whatsoever and absolutely zero intelligence because I'm an inanimate object. But you know what? This doesn't feel like a box. I'm going to pump the brakes on this one. I'm going to bring out my Disney Toy Story type, anthropomorphization of animals and personification of these inanimate objects. I'm just going to channel that. Recognize there a human in here. Shut her down. I don't bail humans, okay? I don't know how many times I have to go over this. I do not bail humans. Cardboard only. It's written right on the machine. Don't put anything else but cardboard in here. Cardboard only. All right? No humans. See, the baler knows what's up. The baler absolutely knows what's up. Next one coming from Consultant for Life. I was chaperoning a field trip where 7th graders got to shoot compound bows. They were expressly told multiple times not to dry fire the bow, pulling back and letting go without an arrow. One kid literally did that as soon as he was handed the bow and broke it. Luckily, these were small, low-strength pullback bows, so he didn't get hurt, but sure as heck got benched for the rest of the class. Which is like... I don't understand. It's such a cool thing to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. And you do the one thing that they tell you you're going to get kicked out for doing. It's like, it's like, I've never shot a bow and arrow in my life, man. It's going to be fucking sick, man. It's going to be so dope. I'm so curious to learn how to shoot this thing. We're going to fly arrows around. It's going to be shooting targets and stuff. It's going to be so dope. Wait, didn't they told us not to pull the string back, right? Well, there was no arrow in there. Yeah, they said that explicitly not to do that because it can break the bow and people can get hurt because the string breaks and then it could, poke your eye out or something. And he's just like, what? Just as he's pulling it, is he fucking yanking it? Like, I don't understand. That's like, oh, I can't wait to drive. I've never driven before. And as soon as you get in, you just stomp on the gas and crash right into the freaking side of the street, right into just like a parking median. It's like your dad brings you to the parking lot. He's like, okay, I know you've never driven the car before. We're going to teach you how to drive. Just want to be really calm. We have to take things really slowly. We're going to start with the car in reverse. What? Sorry, my bad. I got carried away. I thought you said drive as fast as you can forward. I thought you said stomp on the gas as quickly as you can into this brick wall. My bad, Dad. I really screwed the pooch on that one. Sorry about that. Insurance will cover that, right? Though it's just the front of the entire car airbags, and pretty much this entire thing is crumpled into a little ball. But you got that. It's not my fault. The wall was there. Okay, I didn't build the wall. That's the museum's fault. We used the museum parking lot. They built the wall there. Obviously, this is on them. I'm sure we could make this out to be some sort of act of God type of thing. All right? God decided that there was going to be a museum built there and that my foot was going to stomp on the gas. That's all in God's plan. Could you actually imagine going to the in the US you call it the DMV, but we call it just the insurance, or SGI, that's what we call it in Saskatchewan. I don't know what they call it here. But the driver office or whatever, and just being like, it's like, so you were at fault for this accident that happened at your car. That's what the police report said. You T-boned you T-boned a man on a bicycle. That's what happened here. You blew through a red light. No, okay, see. What you're not understanding is, and the police wrote this down. I don't know why they didn't listen to me, because I told them explicitly not to write that down. I told them to say it was an act of God, okay? I am the most devout believer of God. I am a Christian person through and through. And if this was in God's plan for me to T-bone that man and him be a quadriplegic, then that's God's plan. Okay, so what you're not understanding is this has been put forth to me and in my path, and in through his life, he's going to thank me for this, okay? God made him a paraplegic. Okay, God put him into a wheelchair for a reason. Okay, maybe he needed it. I don't know. I don't speak for God, all right? God works in mysterious ways, as you kind of know. That's the whole idea, all right? Miracles and stuff. I'm saying I hit him through God. God wanted me to hit him with my car and cripple him for the rest of his life. So, with that said, this was an act of God. So, can we just chalk it up to an act of God? I can get my insurance money paid out in the car, and just we can kind of put it behind us. I feel like this has kind of been a bit of a drag. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, this has been a bit of a fucking drag. Okay, so I'm really, this is just all this stuff about, I'm going to get arrested, and, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. I almost killed someone. I might get charged with manslaughter type of thing. Like, can we just drop it? Okay, God works in mysterious ways. God has it in the cards for this to have happened, and that's how it shook out. It's not my fault. Blame God, okay? I might be Jesus, okay? But I'm the son of God, though. I might be the son of God, okay? No, don't make any assumptions too quickly, though. Might be the son of God you're talking to here, so I'd watch your fucking tone. I'd watch your fucking words, because you might be speaking to the literal son of God right now. So, can we just, work this out for me, and I will promise you're not going to go to hell when you die. You're not going to burn for the rest of eternity and burn and suffer in anguish and die. So, how about that's a trade-off? How about we can just do that, instead of me even all this, I'm going to get arrested criminal type shit, and this fucking police are outside chasing me right now, like they got guns ready. There's no teller there. It's like a fucking hold up. Next one comes from Timeware6053. Safety video. Do not stick your hand in liquid molten plastic. 5 minutes on the plant floor, supervisor to me. Hey, take Johnny to the hospital because he stuck his hand in molten plastic and has 3rd-degree burns. That was the end of Johnny. I never saw him again. Yeah, what's the... Is this some sort of like one of those fascination videos, like one of those like satisfying videos? It's like glass blowing. You know how the glass blowing is? Everybody loves to watch videos of glass blowing. This is like the same kind of thing. It's like you're just sticking your hand in molten plastic. Is it that mesmerizing? Like, can't you just get a fucking stress ball? Like, can we not just get some sticky goo, that silly putty or whatever it is, that gooey stuff that kids love? Can you not just let that satisfy your need? Is this like a step up? Like it's like a drug addiction? Like you just have to keep getting higher and higher? You just have to keep going. It's just like, fuck, I fucking squeeze the shit out of the stress ball. I sillied all my putty. My putty's the silliest it's ever been. I need to fucking stick my hands in some molten plastic or something. Like, what? What's the, I don't get this. I'm not understanding the motivation. Like I feel like, ooh, blazing hot pool of molten plastic. I bet it's like that. When you get you stick your hand into those things, with like into the wax and the hot wax, and then you take it out and it has like a mold of your hand. Maybe he thought it was one of those. It was like, oh, cool, they have this here. Oh my God, I have no feeling sensation left on my hand. Like his hand is fused in plastic for the rest of his life. He thought it was going to be cool because he was going to be like Darth Vader or something, but then he realized we don't have the technology for that. And he's like, now his hand is just forever stuck holding a cup, like just in like a Lego person. He's like, you know what? I thought this was going to be a lot cooler. I thought they were going to give me like a Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader robot arm, and then it was going to be done. But now this feels very anticlimactic. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, sir, but we don't really have the technology. That is Star Wars. That is a complete fictional universe that does not exist, and some of the technology might never exist. A lightsaber physically does not even make sense. There's just, I don't know what you thought was going to happen here. We don't have the technology to repair nerves that don't even exist on your body anymore. Like, you literally fused a giant piece of plastic onto your arm. That, like, you have no nerves. That is your arm for the rest of your life. I hope you know that. So you basically kind of just gave yourself a prosthetic arm in a weird way. In a roundabout way, you kind of just gave yourself the plastic arm. Most people go their lives trying to look for an arm like that, and you just kind of gave it to yourself. So if anything, you should be thankful. You should be thankful to yourself that you were able to pull away with a plastic arm like that. And I'm sorry, but it's red, so can't do much about the color there. Next one comes from Stanley Leverlock. The tech next to me was using canned air to clean a dusty computer. I noticed he was tilting the can to the side really far to get into the fan, so I told him to be careful because if you tilt it, it'll tilt it too far, it'll spray sub-zero temperature liquid that can freeze burn your skin. He said, really? And then immediately turned the can upside down and sprayed it directly into his palm. I was just speechless while he clutched his hand and cursed. What do you think, I'm lying to you? Like, why would I, like, oh yeah, if you stick your hand in a boiling pot of water, your hand's gonna hurt like a bitch. Really? I've never heard of that. I've literally never heard of anyone saying that ever. Really? Like, sounds like bullshit to me. Yeah, it sounds like bullshit. I'm gonna have to fact check you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Cancel me all you want. Cancel me. Go ahead, cancel me. I don't even care. I don't even care if you cancel me. Hope you guys understand that reference. That is so insane. Like, why the fuck? Like, this kind of reminds me of this one time when I was in the 8th grade. I had a miniature bottle of Axe body spray, and I kept trying to push the nozzle down to spray, but it wasn't coming out. So I was trying to get a better look at it, and I fucking pointed this spray Axe bottle directly in my fucking face, and then I pressed down on the thing really hard, and I just got a massive spray of Axe body spray just directly in my eyeball. Like it couldn't have been more just, and I couldn't imagine what it would have been like watching that from a third-person perspective. From a third-person perspective, you just walked in on me. I was staring at a bottle of Axe body spray and then just pulled it down and sprayed myself for like a good spray directly into my eye. Like, it was almost just like, I wonder what's going to happen. I think I'm just going to go stare at the sun for a while. See what happens, That eclipse that's happening today, why don't I just go stare right up at the sky? My eyes are cooked, my corneas, I can't see. I'm blind. Wow, that is incredible. mean, I knew that was going to happen, but for some reason, I didn't quite know it was going to happen. Oh my God. Let's do one more. So last one comes from Ulfger88. I worked in an aquatic store, and I told a new hire to be careful when working the coral vats because the halogen lights got stupid hot, and this was before LEDs, and they were way out the way of customers. So I told him not to touch. As soon as the words left my mouth, he stuck his fingertips on the light. Are we fish or something? What is the deal? Why do we keep biting hooks? Had to get him to A&E, accident and emergency, or the ER for Americans, and almost 20 years later, I can hear the sizzle of the skin. Hey, you know that really super hot flaming ball of thing you're not supposed to touch there? Yeah, don't touch that. So what you're saying is, I should probably touch it. What you're saying is, I'm a pussy if I don't fucking touch this. What you're saying is that you're calling me out, really. That's what you're doing. What you're saying is that I have no leg to stand on as a human being that deserves integrity in life and respect in life if I don't touch this flaming hot ball. Well, you know what? Joke's on you. I don't have the feeling in my fingers for the rest of my life. Okay, folks, we're going to pack it up there for this week's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/AskReddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. If you're listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. Please answer this week's question by going to Spotify and commenting down there in the description, or you can go and answer on the mega thread on the subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us, which you should also please join. I think over the Christmas break, I'm going to make a Discord, so that's probably going to be coming out soon, so stay tuned for announcements about that. And other than that, I think that's everything. I love each and every single one of you. Peace out, love you, goodbye.